Hi, it's me, Sandra Miller, and we are joined by a very special guest today, Michael Moritz. Now, Michael, you are the musical director of one of my absolute favorite productions that is coming to the Youngstown Playhouse at Dior at Powers Auditorium. Beautiful, the Carole King story. Oh my gosh, it is hands down one of my favorites. That music of the 60s is just that is my wheelhouse right there. I mean, you're the musical director of this. How fun was that? Talk about some of the music in this show.
Sure, sure. I mean, I was one of the original producers of this show on Broadway, and over the last 10 years, it's really interesting. You kind of said it. The music is so universal and multi-generational. So many people who come to the show don't realize that Carole King, well before Tapestry, was writing for the Shirelles, the Monkees, the Drifters, all of this stuff. Carole King worked at the Brill Building as a teenager and sold songs that kind of were the soundtrack of many generations. It's really wild. But Tapestry really came kind of, towards not the end of her career, but much later in her career. That's kind of the thing everybody walks away with, was they cannot believe how prolific a writer Carole was. She was amazing.
She really was, and she was 17. She was writing these songs trying to sell, and I think was it One Fine Day, I think that was the first song that she sold?
That's one of them. Yeah, that was one of the early songs she sold for sure. Yeah. I mean,
Right,
she wrote for the Monkees. I mean, so many different things. She wrote Pleasant Valley Sunday. There are so many songs you just never would imagine that
right.
Carole King wrote, right? It's really amazing.
It really is, and it's not just, I mean, mainly the music of Carole King, but as the story goes, she starts as a teenager, and it's essentially working up to Tapestry, which
That's
is
right.
the I Ching of Carole King,
That's right.
is from teenager to adult, and the things that adults go through, and that was really finding her voice. And those songs
Yep.
on Tapestry were so personal that
Yep.
nobody else could sing them but Carole King. I'm getting chills talking about it. But
It's so true. I mean, that's kind of how the story arcs in this. So this, people call this a jukebox musical, but it's really not a jukebox musical in that sense. This is the true story of Carole King's rise, from songwriter to stardom and Tapestry, told through her music that was written at moments in her life. It's a totally true story. It's not this, it's not a made up story that's kind of hung on someone's catalog. It chronicles, Carol's really interesting life, the highs and the lows, and kind of everything in between. It's really a great show.
it really is. And of course, Carol and her husband, Jerry, their best friends, were also huge songwriters.
Right.
So you're going to get songs that the other songwriting teams wrote as well for a lot of the same artists. I know Carol and her husband wrote a lot for the Drifters, but the other team wrote a lot for the Righteous Brothers. So you're really going to get
That's
so
right.
much music in addition to your Carole King music. Tell me about the actors and the actresses that you've
Sure.
got on stage.
Sure. I mean, I called in every possible favor. I'm originally from Youngstown. I've been in New York for many years now. I called in all the favors. So a lot of the people in the band live in New York now, but are from the Valley. And quite a few of the performers are local and still local. And the other half of the performers live in LA, work in Philadelphia, work in New York City, and they've all come home to do the show as well. So everyone in this show has a local tie. They either live here or got their start here. It's pretty amazing. It's a real nice melding of like the collaborative spirit is alive and well here. All of the theaters locally, kind of came together, and the talent pool all came out for this. It's been really, really special to see it come together.
And it's all happen it's one weekend only. It is
That's
next
it.
weekend.
That's right.
So you got to get your tickets. Of course, we've got people's chance to win tickets if you go to y-103.com, sign up to win them. You will not be disappointed. Like I said, one of my favorite musicals ever. I actually got ready this morning listening to that Tapestry album to get
Amazing.
ready for this because it really is such a beautiful, beautiful story and a great musical. It's so entertaining. And one weekend only. Tell people how they can get their tickets.
You can get tickets by going to the youngstownplayhouse.org or calling the box office. Also through the social media channels as well. 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I promise people will have a good time. I also promise that everyone will know 2/3 of the material, regardless of their age. It's just such familiar music.
I would go out on a limb and say they're probably going to know more than 2/3 of the
I think you're
material.
right.
All right. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that is it. And can I say, as a theater goer, this is such a jewel. I mean, not only are you going to get this beautiful production with professional actors, they also have that Youngstown tie to it as well. Thank you for bringing that back to
Of
Youngstown.
course.
But when you look at the price of what it takes to go see a Broadway production, it is so crazy expensive. The tickets are so reasonable.
Yeah.
They're right around $50, I think, for some of the seats up front,
I
and
think 50
they
is the
go all the
top
way
ticket.
back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a great night out. It is a great price, and nobody is going to be disappointed
Yeah.
at all with this production. I'm really looking forward to it, Michael.
I'm glad. I'm glad. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.